What is up, metalheads? You're listening and watching another episode of Metal Massacre. As always, I'm the weirdo with a beardo, sitting here with Dustin, the czar of gnar. And today we thought it'd be kind of fun as we get into the spooky season, as we get into more metal times, if you will, to talk about metal. I almost said horror. Metal icons.
Yeah, soon we can do both. But
Yeah,
I mean,
there's bleed over. Like we've always said, there's bleed over between horror and metal because metal is the horror of music. It just is.
Yeah.
So those two things are always going to go hand in hand. I'd be curious to see if we do have any horror icons on our list that fit the mold. But what is a metal icon in our definition? I guess the characters in movies and TV shows and in video games that you would consider the metal one. So it doesn't have to be like a TV show that's metal or a video game that's even metal.
No,
it just has to be that one character that represents the culture and kind of the flag carrier for metal.
Right. Usually they're there as they're the black sheep.
Yeah. For sure.
Everybody's hanging out and they have a normal family and shit, and then there's these people.
Right.
And sometimes the medium will carry to like that they're the main focus, and sometimes it's just another, that's that guy, and that's the role that he fills so he can make someone different, edgy, and all that kind of shit,
right.
I suppose. But
I enjoy when they make metal characters or even goth characters. Like I'm specifically thinking of the goth kids from South Park.
Yeah.
They're super funny. I think they're like a good staple of that show. But today we're going to celebrate those characters that we think kind of embody metal in maybe things that aren't necessarily metal.
Yeah, that's true.
So I figured I'd start off with my list. How many did you have, by the way?
I mean, I think mine's going to be a little different than yours.
Okay.
So
I always love when we do lists because we do them different ways.
Yeah.
Like I'll do like ranked and you'll go, nah, mine's ranked this way. And I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I think mine are all just people that I found notable. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember this. But like, I know that you went a little bit more like, this one's my favorite one. So
well, yeah. And I wanted to go more for representation.
As you should.
So I'm going to go with one that you probably are not going to expect. Number one on my metal icons list is Buttercup from Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Super metal. I mean, even when her theme, my wife brought it up, when the theme song switches to her part, it's like metal. It's like...
Dude, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And I don't think most people are going to argue with me that Powerpuff Girls is arguably one of the more metal cartoons, even though it's obviously called Powerpuff Girls and it's all sweetsy and cutesy
it's
and
metal in the same way that like baby metal is metal.
But you go look at it in the back in the day, like when they're punching, like what's this?
Oh, it's
monkey?
Hardcore. Yeah, Mojo Jojo.
His brain's flying out. His fucking.
There's a lot of brutality
helmet.
in that. Yeah, for
like
sure.
Blood and guts. Like they fly. Like there's those robots and like big nondescript monsters that they're usually always fighting in the beginning of the show that just like explode and there's just green blood and goo everywhere they're covered in. Like the devil is like some nondescript kind of like NB him.
Yeah.
And it's but like super dark and creepy. And like, we do weird shit that we can't put in a cartoon.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's a pretty metal show. But I think overall, I think Buttercup is like the flag carrier for metal.
Yes, though.
You could see her growing up and working on motorcycles and listening to Motorhead. Like that's just what I think of Buttercup. So hats off to Buttercup for making it onto our metal icons list.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that one.
The next one is an easy one. I think if you disagree with this, you're probably not a metalhead.
You're dumb.
The two stoner metalheads from Little Nicky. I'm not going to reference their names because it's not important.
Chicago,
you know who I'm talking
about,
dude. Yeah, like those dudes are just like the flag carriers of metal for that movie. Like metal gets referenced a lot, and Nikki listens to metal, and like there's a lot of connections there. But like they're the two characters that make it the most metal, aside from Ozzy.
Well, yeah, if you can do it, bite his freaking head off.
Like that was always a really awesome part.
I mean, anytime you're gonna get into like something about the devil or hell or something like that, there's again because of the natural connection, like we were already saying at the top.
It's
like,
just inherently metal.
There's going to be some heavy metal shit in there.
Sure.
But the last scene in that movie where they're like just like dancing around, headbanging in hell or something, it was like they couldn't be happier. They lived forever in hell.
Right.
They were
just dancing with him. Yeah, that was like their ultimate dream. So I think those guys are totally on the list.
Yeah.
A next one is on my shirt. Jeff Johansson from Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, dude.
The most metal character in Dead by Daylight. If you go into his backstory, he used to be a roadie. He made artwork for metal bands.
Yeah, did like cover art and poster work and like
went to metal shows all the time. He has roadie outfits. He's got a corpse paint black metal outfit skin in the game.
He's one of the only ones that when you buy like the Iron Maiden shit too, and the Slipknot stuff, like he gets like special gear for that. Where I don't even think every character.
I think he gets a crew thing, and I don't know if other people get that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But, and like I usually play like, again, that's Dead by Daylight is pretty. There is rarely any music in it at all, unless there's like a specific killer.
They'll take the same thing and they'll change it for each killer. Yeah,
right. But like that inherently, even though it's like a brutal killing game and stuff like that, again, horror adjacent. It's that character in specific in his backstory, where most other characters, like he was just a scientist that found himself here and like probably listens to jazz,
right?
but like doesn't ever bring up the music at all. But Jeff specifically, like his whole aesthetic is that he's a heavy metal dude and was a roadie, like you said. That's pretty. That he deserves to be on there for sure, because again, he embodies exactly what this list is trying to achieve.
Yeah. So. The next one would be Eddie from Stranger Things season 4.
Yeah,
the dude that does the Master of Puppets. The D&D connoisseur. He was kind of the ringleader of their group in season 4, and people thought he was a Satanist, which rings very true to the Satanic Panic back in the day with music and with movies. And I think going out in the way he went out was the most metal way I think I've seen anybody go out in a TV show before. Like, have you watched it? Did you ever get that far?
I never did much Stranger Things, to be honest.
So let me set the stage for you. Let me paint you a picture,
please.
So they're in the underground, or the upside down. Sorry, the other dimension where all the bad shit lives, and he's with his buddy, and he needs to cause a distraction so that someone can escape these giant Demogorgon bat things that are going after him. So what does he do? He straps in his guitar, gets on top of a trailer, and plays Master of Puppets.
Hell yeah.
And just distracts all the demons and is just shredding. And you're like, this is crazy. Not only do I love that, but we actually had the privilege of talking to Aiden Fisher, who was the finger double for that scene. So they both knew how to play the song, but Aiden is like a genius on guitar. So they're like, okay, for the more technical parts, we're going to get close-ups of his fingers playing it. And yeah, that was one of the more fun interviews we got to do for the Weekly Geekly when we were on that staff. But I think that character is just so fucking metal.
Funny enough, I think that kid's from Omaha too.
Aiden Fisher. Yep.
I have his guitar amp at my house.
Yeah, that's funny.
Not the one that he played in the show. No. Like, just from collecting gear with Molten forever and
that's crazy.
Like my dad was at I don't know if it was Guitar Center. We were somewhere where we were again just like moving and trading and doing shit, and he was there, and we were talking with Aiden, and then eventually like one thing to another, I have his amp at my house.
That's funny.
So that's pretty
small
cool.
world.
I may not have watched all of Stranger Things, but I have a piece of it.
You at least got to watch that 4th season. It's a tearjerker. I remember I was on a 12-hour van ride back from Tennessee in Nashville. I was doing a Motley Crue show with Def Leppard and Joan Jett.
All right.
And we were like, it's a 12-hour drive back. We don't want to wait and sleep in Nashville and leave in the morning and take a whole nother fucking 12 hours.
Nah.
So we literally at 5 o'clock at night, we're like, we're leaving. And we drove through the entire night, stopping twice for gas. And as we were driving, I was like, I got Netflix on my phone. So I watched the last season, and dude, I was crying like a little fucking baby in the back of this van with a bunch of roadie dudes. I was like, it's so good. He died. And they're like, what the fuck? It's 6 a.m. Go to sleep.
Get it together.
So I think Eddie totally fits. He carries that flag.
Yeah.
Because again, in D&D and horror, there is some kind of metal crossover there.
And again, it's the 80s aspect of like the nostalgia that they put into there and all of that. Like that obviously turns some people away from the show. It's what a lot of people loved the show for. And it was like kind of the whole shtick is like it was this, time capsule and metal in the 80s. I mean, it's huge today, but like that was like, it
was a whole nother time. Yeah.
That was when that was on the radio. Like, that was your pop hits.
Right. That was back in you bought CDs and that's how you got people to like your shit.
Absolutely.
Era. But yeah, last one is not a surprise, and you're going to laugh and you're going to be like, oh, you just put him in there because you like him. But I will say, aside from how much I like this character, I put him in here for the intensity, for the brutality, and the evilness in this person, and that's Art the Clown.
Okay.
I think when you look at slashers and horror and anything adjacent to metal in that way nowadays, I'm hard pressed to find anybody that, in my opinion, does it more metal. Because not only is this dude thinking up these crazy kills that are so fucking elaborate that you haven't even seen stuff like that since the first Saw movie, but like he's cruel. And he plays with his food, and it's how long he can drag out the kill. And some of that shit is the most metal shit like I've ever seen.
I can see the connection.
Like, oh my god,
see the string stretching.
Yeah, we just we just watched Terrifier 3 like the opening night it came out on the 10th, and I just remember halfway through it thinking like, this is got to be the most metal slasher franchise I've ever seen. Because it's not afraid to hold back.
It's got an aesthetic to it that...
Yeah, the 80s grindhouse, grimy kind of film projector feel to it.
I would say more than like... I don't look at Michael Myers as a metalhead.
No.
Like, he has long hair in the beginning, but like in the origin story, like again, that you would just be saying that because again, well, this is metal because of this, but like that, I understand what you're streaming.
It's just together. Like, he's the cannibal corpse of slashers.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
Or the cattle decapitation of slashers. He's so over the top that's what you expect, and like. Halfway through this third movie, so in the first two Terrifier movies, there's the big scene. There's the big kill. All the kills are great, but there's one big kill in every movie that is meant to be, holy shit, that's the main kill. And in this movie, I kept waiting for that scene.
Sure.
It never came because there were 6 of them.
Okay.
And I was like, holy shit. Like at the end of it, I was like waiting for it to get more intense, and it did, but it never drug things out like in those first 2 movies. And I just, dude, I cannot recommend it enough for people that are metalheads and you want to test yourself and go into it knowing you're going to be shocked. It's like for the grindcore kids and the doom metal and death metal kids, I think that is a horror movie made for them.
I could agree. Like I said, if someone's trying to get, we had this conversation the other day when we were at the studio. It was like, if people are wanting to get into horror films, because there are some people that like the more brutal shit, but it's just because they like the music. They might, I'm sure there's a crossover of people that are like, yeah, I can't watch all the blood.
Right, yeah.
If you are trying to get into horror in general, first of all, you should take, do I like ghosts and paranormal and spooky shit? Do I like blood and guts? Do I like more cerebral horror, something more like The Ring with like jump scares and like there's a creepy story being told? Pick a lane.
Yeah.
All of it's good. Pick a lane. Don't start with this because like this again is like the most. There's a lot of blood. It's pretty fucked up.
I'll agree with you to an extent. If you're new to horror, yes.
If you are into it, you should.
If you like grindhouse movies and old slashers from the 80s that necessarily didn't need to have like the craziest story, but I think you would enjoy this just for the aesthetics. And I would challenge you that even if you're not into gore, try it. See if you can do it. It's like a nice challenge for yourself. But dude, when I think, it's crazy.
It's pretty extreme.
Ice Nine Kills did a song technically with Art the Clown, and it had Shavo in it.
Yeah.
I've listened to it, and to be honest with you, I'm still deciding on if I love it or hate it. Like, it's just not what I would assume a Terrifier song would be.
Sure.
But that speaks to how metal he is that a band like that is idolizing this dude, because Ice Nine Kills has made a gimmick and a shtick off of writing songs based around cult classic horror movies like Evil Dead, Halloween, things like that. Freddy Krueger, Pennywise. So the fact that they even made the song means that Art is becoming a family household name.
Yeah. Spam.
Yeah.
We're getting them spam calls.
So like, that's what that tells me, is that this dude is breaking into the upper echelon of like, I wouldn't be surprised if we one day saw Art getting his own star on Hollywood Boulevard.
It's not outside of the realm of possibility. I think it's the band Aborted, who's pretty big.
They're coming to town.
Yeah.
They got that Art the Clown art on their tour poster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's becoming a mainstream horror icon for sure because of how aggressive. Oh, nice. we're doing things in the right direction behind the scenes is what I'm saying. Some of you on video can see it. Be like, look at that.
Oh, we're getting text messages about stuff.
I should have turned that off a while ago. Yeah, no. I just like to give you shit. I don't think we're stretching to say that obviously he would be a lot more in the vein of something towards heavy metal than not. Like, absolutely. Yeah. I'm 100% on board with that shit, man.
Well, that's my 5 iconic metal heads, I guess, of movies, games, animation, all that. I thought those were just, the ones that to me represented metal the most in places that not necessarily are metal, or some that are. I'm curious, what was your list?
So
tell me how you organized it, because I know you did something completely different.
The way that I had organized this, I suppose, is in basically no specific order, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just, I think that these are iconic characters that embodied heavy metal, and like it's a couple of them. First of all, like honorable mention, because it's just too obvious, would be like Bill and Ted. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the whole movie is about their band and like doing metal stuff and playing music, but that's not what I'm saying. Like the whole thing is that.
Sure.
And so then like the point is to
Bill and Ted are perfect.
But Bill and Ted
think of that.
Is like the number one. I would almost say like almost honorable mention outside the list, because that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of yours are like, these are characters that are this is normal. Like everyone
but they
else
are
has
metal.
Nothing. And they are metal.
Yeah.
So I do have one that's going to be kind of obscure. His name is Mondo Gecko.
Why does that sound familiar?
Because he's from the Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
That's so why. Like basically the 3 I wanted to lump together.
I want to look up a picture of Mondo Gecko while you talk.
The 3 that I wanted to lump together essentially is on the antagonist side, Rocksteady and Bebop. Those two dudes, in every game and every comic, they're always doing something. They're hanging out listening to fucking metal in their little wherever they are when they're traveling through time. There's really there's no direct lore for the Ninja Turtles. I'm sure there is, and someone's gonna yell at me, but that's not the point.
Oh, a little skatery gecko dude.
Yeah, dude. Like, and he, much like Jeff, actually, like if you read the comics and do that stuff, he's always listening to like records, riding skateboard, wearing death metal shirts, was in a heavy metal band as part of his lore.
That's cool. I totally forgot about this character.
Yeah, so like I wanted to put him in there because again, then you get the cartoon aspect of it. Bill and Ted are on the list, like I said, for sure. And then I was trying to think of ones. I did think of the kid from Stranger Things because everyone's seen the little picture of him doing that, even though I hadn't seen it. So I was like, I'm sure you're going to cover him.
Yeah. I'm surprised you did that one too.
Well, I was just like, I bet. But again, and we want to stay away from like Death Clock is a show all away. The whole thing is metal and the whole world is about it. Right. So like, again, honorable mention.
It's an obvious choice.
It's an obvious choice. I would say that I have like 3 more that are like kind of cartoony based. I would say 1, it's the whole point, but everyone else around them doesn't give a fuck. Would be Beavis and Butthead. Okay. Like the whole shtick is that they're watching
AC/DC Metallica shirts and stuff.
Yeah, they're watching music videos every day, but like they have to go to school, and like the actual episodes, all they want to do is go home and listen to more heavy metal. Nice. But the rest of the show is them doing antics or like getting sent to the principal's office or something like that. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, you guys deserve to be on there.
And we're counting pairs of 2 as one person. So, like my metalhead dudes, Bill and Ted, those are all one, technically. So,
my favorite one in cartoons, because again, it has really nothing to do with it, would be the fucking school bus driver from Simpsons, the Otto. Hey, man. Hey, man. Yeah. Don't make me tap the sign, dude.
Otto's a good character for
Otto, because he's always listening on his headphones just to like AC/DC the whole time. Yeah. Like, I wanted to put him in this list as well because again, that is even further away where The Simpsons has nothing to do with heavy metal. It's just an 80s and 90s lifestyle.
Do you know what that made me think of? Is there's a character in Metalocalypse, the guy that's got the one eye and the bandana and the beard. He's in the crowd. Yeah. He's a character based on a real person that is in other cartoon shows. I forget, like he looks like Lemmy. He kind of just looks like Lemmy a little bit. Sure. But I've seen him in other cartoons, and it's like a reference to somebody that all these cartoonists knew. Like it's a real... somebody in the comments of the YouTube, please look this up. It's like this biker dude with a beard, and he's missing an eye. And the story goes that all of these cartoons are connected in the same universe. And some of them, he looks younger and a little different. And then in Metalocalypse, that's him when he like gets old and dies. So like that's the final form of him. But I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Like after we get off, I'm probably going to Google it right away and we'll figure it out.
That's
but
a cool backstory.
Yeah, I'll have to remember. But if you're watching this on YouTube, please do the research and comment down below so I don't look like an idiot completely. But yeah, no, I just remember seeing that on like a YouTube video and I thought that's so cool that they all knew somebody. And I think he had passed away by now, but they based a cartoon character around him. And then they put him in like all types of shows. Like it was this weird anime show and then Metalocalypse and then like one other show. But it's this weird like running gag between these cartoonists. And I thought, wow, that's pretty fucking cool.
Hell yeah. That is, I love those Easter eggs. Deep dives. When the lore is like, did you know that this is in the universe of I think like the Apex video game, Apex Legends is built in the universe of Titanfall, which no one really
gave a shit about, but it's still cool.
I didn't know these are technically supposed to be in the same canon.
Yeah.
Like, that happens in like shows and anime a lot.
For sure.
Like, yeah, that headspace is always really cool. But I only had like 2 more that I think were kind of, because again, there's a trillion of them. There's like, I remember the kid, I watched all the Sopranos a long time ago, and like there was the broody kid that was like Anthony Jr. He was always listening to heavy metal shit because they were literally trying to like, 90s TV writing were like, this kid's troubled.
Yeah, he's smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, so like that kid, the goth kids from South Park, like very same, just put these out beats on here for brevity, that kind of stuff. That makes sense. But the other 2 that I had, Wayne's World, I mean, like, kind of, because again, it's about them making a show. So again, it's a little more on the nose, and there's like a lot of music involved in the whole thing.
But in their world, they are the most metal people.
They're the 2 metal dorks that
for
like
sure
are doing the thing and like singing the
no
fucking
stairway, harsh.
Yeah, like that the whole time.
Fucking love it.
But the one that I had that I think was like the most important one that I could like really encompass, like embody what this is and do a deep dive, and like I bet you guys didn't know that is the show fucking House. I used to watch a lot of House. And
me too. It's always lupus.
It's always lupus.
It's always lupus.
Check for lupus.
Are you sure it's not lupus?
For a while for no reason.
Zoom in on me. Are you sure it's not lupus?
And then, but yeah, he in like deep cuts of a lot of those episodes, I remember I was like, oh yeah. And I was doing some research and trying to find him. And then like, like in his office, there's like a small record collection, and most of them are all like 80s metal.
That's awesome.
Like his, like whenever he rarely does, because that's a doctor show, so it's kind of fast moving and it has all the other parts and lots of timelines and storylines going on simultaneously. But like whenever he's like driving, that's what he's listening to.
That's awesome.
Like it's just kind of like a deep cut that like if you didn't put it together you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you watched enough of that show, like that's when he's on his free time, he's listening to like Anthrax.
Yeah.
But then
have you seen the theory? There's a theory that the 2 doctors in that show are the same person.
No.
The Dr. House is how that one dude wishes he was. It's like Fight Club.
Oh.
And so like when he's not in the room and the House is there, it's just him being House, and they're like treating him like that. I think it's a crazy theory that probably falls apart like a season into the show.
It's probably got some holes in it that like
there's plenty of scenes where they're both in the room and people are talking to both of them. Yeah, like but you'd have to like write so far into it, but yeah.
But I mean like I guess because there is the power struggle with that. I can't, again, it's been years since I've watched the show, but I know the clean cut guy that I'm thinking of that like is always like, he's such a dick, but he's so good.
I think they're like roommates too, or something like that. Yeah, which always is what they do in shows. But
I don't know why. I really enjoyed like my doctor shows. There's been a name them, you know what I mean? Name them. Go on Grey's Anatomy, fucking blah 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 blah. But like, never really got into Scrubs much. Never really gotten. I just like Hugh Lowry, I think.
Yeah, he's a great actor, and I love how smart-assy he is to everyone.
Yeah.
Well, if you didn't do that, you would know that it's lupus. You know, like he's always a fucking asshole, but he like knows what he's doing.
But he's never wrong.
And I think that's so cool. Yeah, that's a good show.
It was a good show.
It's good to know that House is metal. That kind of made me happy.
Yeah, there's like, and again, there's plenty of other ones. There's other stuff that if I just like went through lists online and like or brought up articles, I was like, I put some other ones in there, but I think that kind of hits it because there's other stuff that's like I said, a little bit more on the nose because he's like the game Brutal Legend, right? Like the main character Eddie that's basically just Jack Black, but I didn't bring him up and neither did you probably because the entire fucking thing is supposed to be about heavy metal. Like that's the whole aesthetic. It isn't like pop like metal characters and normal like Pop Fiction or something like that.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So that's what we were trying to do. So I left out a few of those where it's like, well, you forgot this guy. It's like, well, we probably didn't forget him. Or maybe I did.
You know what I would love is if someone out there in like internet land commissioned like a painting of all these characters playing a game together.
Yeah. Like
or maybe even just the duos.
I don't have it in here. Like all the serial killers playing cards.
Oh, yeah, I got it in my living room.
Like all these metalheads.
I think it'd be cool to get like Wayne and Garth, the metalheads from Little Nicky.
Yeah.
And
Bill and
Ted all at a poker table together, and they're all just like fucking around doing weird shit. Like, I will pay anybody to do this, and I don't care if it's an oil painting or you just sketch it and color it on a computer. I want to use that for some kind of promotional campaign. That'd be so fucking cool.
That would be cool.
That's awesome.
That would be fun as hell.
I love this list. I did not expect some of those from you. I'll say that.
Right. Yeah. We did
some of them research. I did. Like, I kind of expected Beavis and Butthead. Mm-hmm. I didn't expect you to also do Eddie. So I guess could we say that he's the most metal between the two of our lists?
I would say it's maybe recency bias because of how popular that show is. But yeah. I mean,
he's probably the best flag carrier for metal in modern
TV right
culture.
Now.
Yeah.
Because again, I don't. There are people that are still like Stranger Things is going to go down as one of those things, even though it's not really for me, and I kind of fell off the show.
Sure,
I can see directly why. Like that's going to be something that for a long time people like are going to make their identity. You know what I mean? Like people are going to be like huge into that and like get tattoos of it.
Well, it's gotten
like,
people so far into the 80s and in D&D and all these like even metal like. And when something can do that, I think that's the true test of if it's a flag carrier. Yeah. If it can influence the main of society, not the niche heads, but the people who otherwise wouldn't give a shit. If it can bring them into the fold, even just a little bit, to where they're like, listen, I'm not a metalhead, but I love that Slayer song.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I love that character, and maybe I'll start playing D&D. Mm-hmm. I think that is some of the coolest shit you can do as a representative of metal in any medium. But also, like, with that being said, gatekeepers need to back the fuck off.
Sure.
Like with that kind of stuff, the people are like, oh, you only listen to metal because of this. It's like, that's how people get into stuff.
Yeah, you should let them.
You should let them find their way into these nooks and crannies. And it doesn't matter how you got there. What matters is that you enjoy it. You know what I mean?
That whole concept of like, oh, you can't wear that shirt, name 3 songs.
Yeah.
Like, that's annoying, dude.
Fucking bullshit.
Let people do whatever they want to do.
Right.
I did see a meme going around. I think Louis posted.
Oh, yeah?
Louis was like, I saw a girl wearing a Misfits shirt, and so I told her to name 3 songs. Then I fucking mercilessly clowned on her because the Misfits suck and you could name 3 songs.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, okay, that's
Shout out Louis Hazard in Omaha, Nebraska, a really cool guy from a couple really good bands.
One of the best guitar players that I know personally, to be
really
honest.
cool. Like, he's always sharing the spicy memes, and I love it. I'll steal some of them, put them in our Discord.
Memes and driving trucks.
It's great. Yeah,
he's a good dude.
Hell yeah. Well, we do have an interview today.
Yeah,
it's a little further back, but I wanted to save it for the right moment.
Mm-hmm. And this was one you did on your own.
Yeah.
Because again, it was we got the offer, and it made sense that we should take, and we just didn't know when to put it in. So
you were on vacation, so I was like, oh fuck, I gotta drive the ship by myself.
Yeah,
I didn't crash it. It was fine. I will say this is the biggest interview in terms of how many people that we've ever done.
Yeah, that's true.
I think there was 5 of them on that call with me.
The whole band.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. We've never gotten a whole band before. So, and these guys are new. They're just starting out. I believe they've got some stuff out now. I probably should have done more research. I don't think their actual album is out yet, but the stuff they put out is really cool. It's Chained Saint. If you don't know Chained Saint, look them up. Pause this right now. Go look them up on Spotify or their YouTube and just check them out for a little bit. Get kind of familiarized before we get into this interview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, thank you for those guys to coming on. Sorry I missed you. Absolutely. We'll tag you in all of this, of course. But yeah, this was from a ways back, and it's a little bit evergreen because they are. I still did look these guys up when you told me we got the offer for them. And yeah, I believe they're younger.
Yeah, I think they're all like 18 and 19.
Yeah, 18, 19, 20, like getting into college. Perfect time if you've got some real momentum behind you.
Yeah.
You're still young and malleable enough that you can eat Taco Bell and tour and it's not going to beat the fuck out of you. So like, I only wish success for these guys because that's the perfect age. Like I said, like I wish that the success that I'm kind of having, the modicum of success that I'm having now at like 31, I wish I would have been able to do this when I was 18, which again, we did. We had me and Lucian had some fun
just a little more wild, I think, in our 18 and 19 years than these guys.
And bands fall apart, but but these guys are already getting some national attention. Yeah. They've obviously got some money behind them, which again, take it.
That's awesome.
Use the things that are given, use the tools that are given to you. Yeah. Absolutely. I can't bag on people for that.
I think, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure I saw Bill from Mastodon help them produce the stuff they're getting out now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a lot of fact checking on this one. Please in the comments.
Please in the comments.
Metal Massacre /
somebody from Mastodon. No, thank you again to Chain Saint for joining me for that. It was really fun. Guys, let's just get right into it. Leave us alone. What is going on? You're listening to Metal Massacre. I am Lucian, the weirdo with a beardo. The czar of gnar, deepest regards to be here today. But today, I'm fucking lucky. I'm surrounded by some pretty cool cats right now. James Saint out of South Florida. Guys, what's up?
What's up?
It's good, man.
What's up? Good.
Hello. Thanks for joining me here today. I know we had kind of some struggles excuse me, with scheduling, and life gets in the way. I had some stuff come up, you guys had some stuff come up, and we finally came together, and I was so happy to see this happen because I've been jamming to Animosity for a minute. I just want to let you know. I saw it come up on an email. I have a lot of bands that come across my desk like every week, and I saw this in an email, and just the name Animosity, I was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna see what it's about, and it's been just animosity, like all in my head for like a couple weeks now. So hats off to that. It's hard to get a song to stick in my head, other than stuff on TikTok, which is annoying.
It's every morning, so don't worry about it.
But you guys just dropped your second song, which I was equally excited about. Stronger Than Stone, Blindside. Which Blindside is the LP name, right? That's coming out?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So is this would you say the title track of the LP?
Yeah, I guess you could say the title track, yeah.
I like this, and you can definitely tell there's Duval stamped on it.
Oh, yeah.
When I listened to it, and with the ghostly kind of vocals towards the end of the track, I was like, oh my god, dude, it just reeks Alice in Chains, like on the back end, not so much like up front, but like it's got those like accents to it, and I really appreciated that. How did that come to be? How did you guys meet William?
I mean, kind of a long story, but if I was to sum it up, we were just kind of jamming in the garage, and we got the opportunity to kind of send him our demos, and we went to a smaller studio, recorded, and he actually really liked it, and he told us to keep recording and send him stuff. And at some point he was just like, I want to help you guys out, and I want to, make this a thing. And, we went up to Atlanta, and the relationship's been building ever since, but yeah, it just started off us in the garage, and he really liked what he heard.
That's cool. I totally thought that story was gonna go like he's your neighbor and he was walking by your garage or some shit, and he's like, dude, like, that's kind of where I thought that was going for a minute, and I was about to be like, what the fuck? But no, that's really fucking cool. That's one of those opportunities that when you get it, you got to take it. And when someone like that says that to you, it means something. So I think that's really cool, man. I would fucking stitch that on a pillow and fucking sleep on it every night. For sure. I bet that feels fucking great at the end of the day. So 8 songs on the LP. I want to know what this is about. Like, what is this LP about? Is there a message to it? Is there a theme overall, or is this just an expression of different sides to you guys?
I feel like we all kind of all have the same meaning with it, where it was kind of the process of recording the album, because it's not really a whole message across the record, but more or less how the recording process went. And there was some, some hurdles we had to get over, and some stuff that happened with the previous member. And, it kind of defines how we felt about the situation, more or less blindsided by the situation. And you know, we all felt the same. A lot of the lyrics were rewritten and, you know, very fueled by that blindsided emotions. And we kind of just felt it's the perfect way to put the finishing like piece on, you know, on how the record is. So we figured we're going to go with that, and it just completely defines how it was for us.
Well, and Ethan, that's like such a visceral thing to write about. Like having that shared experience, it almost bonds you guys even more. And like I am in a band now that has had experiences like that, and new members and changing of members, and it's never fun, and no one likes it, and it's uncomfortable. It's like the equivalent of someone farting in an elevator. No one likes it, bro. Like the guy who did it is like, fuck, dude, like I'm embarrassed, and everyone's trapped there, and you can't do anything about it. Everyone just knows.
Oh dear.
That's kind of what I equate it to socially. But
that's perfect. Yeah.
I'm like, that would be, if I did an album like that, it'd be horrible. It'd be like farting in an elevator.
Yeah.
Be like some Cannibal Corpse cover or something. So I gotta know, my wife was wondering, we were jamming out to your stuff.
Yeah.
What are some of your influences? Like each one of you kind of, I'm assuming, has your own direction and your own style. Because something like 80s thrash doesn't immediately land in. I'm going to kind of address the elephant in the room here. I didn't even think that guys your age were listening to 80s thrash. I'm always being told by everybody that thrash is an old man's music, and like I'm 32 and I play in a thrash band.
Hey,
you know
I'm 35, bro.
So like, what got you all to that point where you were like, we want to blend something with this style?
I mean, we definitely all have our separate influences, but one thing is that, you know, we all say it all the time, we kind of just share the same brain, and
that's,
you know,
cool.
we kind of just kept getting into the same bands and same music at the same time. You know, there'd be one day where like we'd get in Cam's car just to get like food or something, and he's like, dude, check out this band Sepultura, and I'm like, holy crap, this is crazy. And I'm listening to it like crazy, and so is Sebi and like other bands like Death. And obviously we're big into the big four at a time, because I feel like that's a lot of people kind of just get into it through that. But
I love Sepultura.
We definitely share that brain of that metal influence and a lot of the same bands.
That's cool.
I mean, for me, it was definitely big into Sepultura. They were a big driving force for me.
Yes.
Early on in the songwriting, it was more like Megadeth was a cool band to me.
Nice.
I was more of an Embarks type of guy out of all the big four. I don't know why it just gravitated toward me. Maybe just the Scotty and riffs.
Everyone's got one that they gravitate towards more in the big four.
If
and
no one
honestly,
says Metallica, I'm gonna punch someone.
I feel like the big four is almost a thrash rite of passage.
Yeah,
like,
basically. Yeah.
It's the marijuana of thrash. Like everyone's like, marijuana is a gateway drug. Ooh. It's like, you know, it's the one that you get to, and then you're like, it gets you into other like niche thrash bands and like fusions and different styles. Cameron, what about you? What were kind of some of the bands that made you land on thrash?
You better say it. You better say it.
She really wants you to say Metallica, man. I can't be responsible for what she does if no one says it. So,
I mean, obviously like the big four. But I mean, there's definitely like some punk influence in like my drumming style. Like I'm a really big fan of like Pennywise. So honestly, I think I have like a lot of influence from their drummers' way of drumming and like.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean.
Have you heard of Stray from the Path?
No, I don't think so.
Check out their album called Make Your Own History. It's got like a lighthouse on it. Their drummer reminds me of you in that album. It's very beat down, very almost hardcore drumming.
Yeah, in a way.
It's not so much like what you would think of metal when it's just like blah and like fucking,
totally.
You know what I mean? Like double bass the entire fucking time and like
exactly.
It's got a little bit more fucking soul to it. I think you would enjoy Stray from the Path, but it really reminded me of your drumming, and especially in this second release, like, dude, it almost went hardcore for a little bit.
Yeah, for a little bit at the end. Yeah.
I was like, damn, dude, this is nice. You guys really did a cool fusion with that.
Oh,
Speaking of things on the cover, I very much like the eye on your cover.
Yeah, she was a fan of the cover art you guys had. Very, very simplistic, really cool.
I loved it.
Yeah, if you find interesting, that's my eye right here. This one right here.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Make it personal. Hell yeah.
Yes. I loved it a lot. It was like engaging.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Something to look at that you're kind of like wondering about. Sean, what about you? What kind of got you to where you feel like this is the genre for you?
Well, vocally, my inspo for the album, and we're gonna make some people happy. James Hetfield was a huge influence, just like
yes, yes,
attacking it vocally because the previous member just like it was a very Hetfield forward vocal song.
Okay.
And then for the screams, I decided to do mix Hetfield with Phil Anselmo and try and like fuse the two together to create. Thank you.
She's losing her fucking mind. I'm sorry. You're saying all the right things, bud.
What can I say? It's all good. I wanted to kind of just try to mix the two because before this, I've never really been a really great screamer. I've always been a very melodic forward person.
Okay.
But trying to be able to mix melody with harshness, and that was kind of the
That's awesome.
Lightness and darkness.
That's cool. I like that. And finding that duality. And it's hard because a lot of vocalists don't really understand how to do both. It's like, oh, really? I'm really good at this, but I'm terrible at that. And finding that balance between and not forcing yourself to do stuff outside of your reach. Like for me personally, as someone that does both singing and screaming, I've found one pocket where I'm at, and that's the best pocket I'm in. And I'm trying to make everything else that I'm doing kind of have that same oomph to it. You know what I mean? And I think that's the constant challenge we're going to find ourselves in. But I like, especially from Animosity, it was so strong and such a punch to it. And you had that rasp, and you've mastered the rasp. And I think that's the hardest thing for a lot of people is finding that rasp. And like Hetfield has that signature rasp, but doing your own version of it is so important. And I think you found that pocket, and it fits pretty well, dude.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course. Keep it up. I can't wait to see what this LP's got for your vocals, man. I'm super excited for that. Sebastian, what about you? What's your influence for this type of music?
At the start, like when we started writing this record, like Ethan said, Sepultura was like probably the biggest one. But Metallica was also pretty big, and Megadeth was also pretty big.
Nice.
But like now, I've been getting into like a lot of hardcore and death metal. So like bands like Irate, Dying Fetus, stuff like that.
Nice.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Have you guys gotten into Lamb of God at all?
Oh yeah, we just saw them. Yeah.
Oh, dude, they're so fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Do you like
they're
Deathlock?
great.
Yeah, are you into
Yeah,
Death
yeah,
Clock
they're
at all?
cool. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like some songs, yeah.
I'm a Gene
That's-
Owen fan, so that's about it.
Nice. Yeah, the
That
Atomic
is
Clock.
not the right word.
What?
The word is they're amazing.
Yeah, that's the band me and her bond over the most is Death Clock.
Oh yeah, cool.
Cool.
But definitely a big influence. But yeah, I think Lamb of God for me was one of those bands that got me into not just like Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath. Like that was one of those bands where I was like, oh my God, this is also metal. Like, but this is so heavy. And it brought me to the point where I was like, I want to fucking scream myself. So yeah, I everyone's got that band, and it's cool to kind of hear you guys' all individual takes because it's so often than not, it's like everyone's got that one band, but the band itself has like one band themselves, you know? And it's cool to see everybody's individual influence and kind of hear that. Like Cameron, I love that you bring that hardcore style to a thrash band. Like that makes it something completely different than just thrash, because everybody can just play straight up thrash, but to add something else into it is often the kind of difficult thing, because it's such a formulaic genre that veering outside of it too much, some people are purists and they don't like it, or you know, you face all this like, how does it sound? There was something I before I kind of move on, there was something I did hear see on your Spotify, and it was I quoted something and I want to ask you about it. So your style has been defined as 80s thrash with a dash of modern day brutality fitting the many challenges confronting the youth of 2024. I want to know, like, what do you guys think the biggest challenges are for the youth of 2024?
Like musically or kind of just in general? Because
I guess either or. Like, is there are there musical challenges? And like, if not, like, what do you guys think those challenges are that you're kind of reflecting on in the brutality of your addition to thrash?
I feel like musically now it's kind of just breaking through everyone else, because I mean we're in a time where a lot of most stuff has kind of been written in terms of like types of at least just metal. And like, there's so many subgenres and types of stuff you can listen to. Right. That, like, breaking through that is definitely a challenge to make it original. You know, and like, because like we could try and like a lot of people can try and be like a thrash band or a hardcore band, but they might fit into that, you know, style where it's kind of just sounds like a lot of other hardcore bands or thrash bands. And you know, like, and the hardest part, I guess, is trying to make yourself have your own sound. You know, because like so many, I mean, you could be a thrash band and be like a lot of thrash bands where you're hitting a skank beat for 3 minutes and, you know, playing really fast. But if we could figure out a way that kind of differentiates, you know, yourself from everyone else, then that's probably the hardest thing.
And I think that kind of that almost hardcore, I want to say almost New England hardcore, like beat down influence that you guys have. I'd like, dude, fucking hold on to that, because like I don't hear enough of that in thrash. Like, I do a little bit of that, like in like 1 or 2 songs that my band has, and we were trying to do more because it like really works the crowd. I think those are going to be the songs that you guys see like get people hyped up, because God, I'm sitting here just the second song just fucking over and over, like it's got such a nice transition. And I think for thrash bands, that transition can sometimes be jarring. Like, it's hard to get to the next riff.
Yep, that's for sure true. Yeah, we're definitely big fans in like, you know, in hardcore right now, and you know, definitely leaning towards that beatdown style. And like you said, it's difficult to kind of get to the next riff when you're trying to do 2 separate types of things, but you know, we're trying to make it work. And I mean, another big influence for us for that type of stuff is definitely Power Trip. You know, they have those really cool breakdowns, you know? And, you know, we've been getting into a lot of hardcore recently, so that's definitely an influence, especially for the second single, which was the last song we wrote on the record.
Nice.
So it definitely had the most hardcore vibe to it from what we were listening to, getting into. But it's definitely something we're going to continue in the future. You know, we love it.
I think it'll be interesting to see how you keep it spicy, man, and how you keep it interesting, because like the death of any band is falling into complacency or falling into that mode where you're just like doing the same thing. And I think you guys have that advantage where you have your youth and you have this time to really hone in on what Chained Saint is and what it's gonna be. And I'm just excited to see that growth. So like, hats off to you guys for already coming this far. Like, fuck, dude, you guys came way farther already than I did when I was 18. Fuck. That's like, I'm so fucking proud of you, and I didn't even know you guys. So like,
it's so cool. It, of course,
I think it's gonna be really fun. Have you guys done any gigging yet, or are you strictly like getting the studio stuff out first?
I mean, we've had a big hiatus off of shows because we were kind of just locking in on recording and getting all that stuff done, and you know, trying to build a name for ourselves online and on, you know, getting the music video done and all those things.
Yeah.
So that definitely took a lot more time than we expected originally. You know, we're definitely going full
things
throttle.
do like this, like even just recording, I get so fucking impatient. Like, I feel
yeah, and you know, now we're going to go full throttle on shows again.
Nice.
But yeah, that's definitely the next step, is kind of just gig around as much as we can.
That's really cool. And in Florida I mean, there's a death metal scene there, so adjacent to that, there's got to be some kind of thrash scene. I would imagine there's at least some stuff to start off there. I mean, he goes,
it's all right. Yeah, I mean, it's like realistically, it's like maybe 4 bands.
Yeah,
we know.
Big 4 of Florida, baby. There you go. That's what you could fucking say, you know? That's fucking cool.
Have you heard of the band American Party Machine?
I think I've seen it like on like I've gone on a song on Spotify where it does like the recommended songs.
Yeah.
Yes, I know them very well.
She's friends with them.
That's cool. Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm excited to see where you guys go with gigging. If you ever make your way out to Nebraska or the Midwest, fucking let me know if you need somebody to play with you, man. I'd be down.
Of course, dude. Yeah.
I think our styles would mesh really well. We do kind of a death thrash groove thing. I don't know, with a little bit of like hardcore and punk thrown in. It's weird. I don't know. I hate genres because what if I want to write something else? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
What if I want to go outside of the bounds with the next fucking CD and do something weird or like make something else? I like fusions or like when people can kind of multi-layer stuff and then you can hear it. I like that more than just like we are a punk band. I'm like, no, you're not, though. No, you're not. You got other things going on, and I know you do. Just tell me what they are. Okay, we're a punk thrash band. Okay, well, that's a little better. But
well, isn't this sexy?
I feel like the only way to like truly define yourself is like having multiple genres nowadays. Because no one's just a fucking rock and roll band. Or a metal band, you know, like you gotta like go outside of the band, like the ordinary to kind of get known. And I feel like you guys are doing that. You're going outside of what people are used to hearing, and it's definitely impressive. So hats off to you guys.
Woo!
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
for sure.
Yes.
Do you guys? What do you do outside of music? Like, do you game? I mean, fuck, I don't know. Do you race dogs? Like, what's your thing?
Tell me your hobbies.
Separate answers. I'm a gamer. I'm a big time gamer.
What games you rocking?
All right, I got like an emulator on my phone thanks to Sebastian. So I've been playing a lot of Pokemon, a lot of GameCube games. Just like going back to my roots.
There you go.
Been playing a lot of Fallout. Recently a lot of Fallout.
Right on. Yeah.
I play some Battlefront too.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Yeah, but I mean my PC broke like a week ago, so
dude, that sucks.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, it's kind of bad,
sucks.
but you know, it's
Cameron, what about you?
I've gone mountain bike riding a couple times over the summer with my dad. That's been pretty fun.
Cool.
Aww. That's
I know
nice.
all of us like to play basketball, so that's something we all do.
Hell yeah.
Get it?
You should when you guys eventually go on tour, you should get like a basketball hoop and just put it in the trailer and
It should. That's a great idea.
or like on the trailer door. That's even better.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking
Innovator
about?
right here. Just thinking of stuff. Sean, what about you? What do you get into that's not music?
So funny enough, when I'm not doing music, I'm actually a martial artist.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
I am a martial artist. I have my assistant teaching degree in Tong Sudo. So that's something I really enjoy spending my time doing.
That's really cool. It's called Tong Sudo?
Tong Sudo, yes.
Nice. I nailed it first try.
Yeah, if I could add don't fuck with Sean, he's like a double black belt.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna
fucking
say,
cool,
if you
dude.
didn't get it right, you would fuck you.
You gotta incorporate that into your stage presence, my dude. Start breaking boards and shit while you're fucking animosity, you know? Like, I think that up the stage presence even more, man. Like, doing the kicking ones where they're like jumping really high and people are holding them. Like,
I'm down to do a little 540. That's fine with me.
listen, I'd pay an extra $10 on a ticket to see that shit. I'm just saying, like, I don't know what that means to you, but that's what I'm putting in there. Sebastian, what about you? What's non-musical in your life that you enjoy?
Like Ethan, I'm a gamer also.
Nice. What are you playing?
Like Red Dead 2 is a
Fuck
big one.
yeah.
That I'm playing. Yeah.
Now I gotta know, are you like a straight lace motherfucker? You get a little crazy on that game.
I try to be chill about it, you know, like I'm trying to, you know, I'm not going too crazy, but like,
oh my god,
though,
I feel like he goes crazy.
No, I played online with my friends, like, and yeah, like we tie the people up and throw them.
Oh, you're murking people. You're straight gang banging.
Yeah, basically.
This putting people under trains and throwing them off bridges and shit. You probably killed me, motherfucker. I was probably one of those people. I get trolled all the goddamn time.
Maybe.
I stopped playing that game because people like can hack it apparently now and like get everything, and like I'm just like it's too much. Like I like the. Did you ever play the zombie one?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
God, it's so good. It's the version before that. Red Dead Redemption, like zombie something, I forget. But if you ever get a chance to play it, it's a trip, dude. I would check it out. Any other games you like right now?
I'd say like also like I've been revisiting like the Batman Arkham series because that was a big one for me as a kid.
Oh, dude, nice.
Yeah.
What's your favorite one out of those?
Probably City. Just like I really like the story in it, and
I respect that.
Yeah, it was kind of like
Batman.
it was like my main one that I really liked. So like as a kid, so I'd say that one.
I remember when they opened up the traversal on that, like just the jump from Asylum to City was such a crazy jump. And then they went from that to Night, and I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, they have a new one coming out, and it's like the Rat King is the bad guy, but the only thing that sucks is it's only for like meta VR.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, come on. Like, so many people are waiting for the next Arkham game. After that fucking Suicide Squad game and Arkham Knights or Gotham Knights failed too. I was like, motherfucker, give me a good Batman game again. Like,
for sure. For sure.
Nothing beats Lego Batman, though.
Dude, Lego Batman's badass. I never played a game if they made one, but I love the movie.
No, the game's fun too.
All right.
Yeah, the
Shit, they did make a game? That's fucking cool.
Yeah, they've been at games. Yeah.
And then it's got all the voices and shit?
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you knew they had to contract them in for that when they were like, we're also doing a game, sign here.
Yeah.
God damn it, I have 1,000 voice lines.
Dude, I gotta add, I've been surfing recently. That's another thing I've been doing out of music.
Oh, cool, dude.
Yeah. Can't wait to go on tour and like, find some cool surf spots around the States. And I was just in Costa Rica surfing, which is really cool. I'm not
nice.
Not crazy. I'm no Kelly Slater, but it was cool.
Hey, respect. It takes a lot to get up there.
I'm from Hawaii, so
yeah, she's from Hawaii, so she's been around surfing all her life.
I don't surf though. No. Sorry.
I've snowboarded before. That's about as close as I'll get. But interestingly enough, those two are like the complete opposites.
Yeah. Is snowboarding the one where you have your feet attached to the board?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and my brother went. It's so weird. Like it's so weird to move.
Yeah, you're like using the back foot to steer.
Hey.
And then in surfing, I've heard you use your front foot, right, to kind of whip it around.
Yeah, use your front foot.
Yeah.
No, surfing, you use your soul, bro.
Soul surfers.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Soul skaters, yeah. You guys ever see that movie Brink?
No, I haven't, no.
Bro, it's pretty old, but it's this Disney Channel movie about inline skating, and it's ridiculous.
I love that movie.
That's sick.
If you ever want to laugh and you're like, smoking that wacky tobacco, check it out. It's really funny.
No. Stop it.
You guys have been really cool. I'm not gonna lie. I've interviewed a lot of people in my life, and some pretty big weirdos. But you guys are pretty fun. I appreciate you for being so nice. I know it's not always easy to come on these things and like try to be interesting or talk about yourself because sometimes you just don't feel like it. You never know what your day's been like. So I appreciate you guys for being so kind and being here today.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate you for having us.
Of course, man. Before we get out of here, is there anything you want our audience to know?
Not particularly. I mean, just check out the music. It's kind of the only thing I could say.
When's Instagram? What's your Instagram?
Yeah, that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go follow Chain Saint on Instagram.
Do it.
When does the LP drop? When are you expecting it?
August 23rd.
Fuck yeah. So go look out for that. I'm excited to kind of see what you guys are doing with this sound. It's something different. It's something new, and it's kind of experimental. It's kind of out of the reach of what other people are doing right now. But I think that's exactly what is the appeal behind it. So good luck to you, gentlemen. Guys, thanks for being on Metal Massacre. Thanks for being a bunch of metal motherfuckers. And I guess, hey, come back when the LP is out. I'd love to talk to you again about it.
Yeah. I'd love that. Yeah, for sure.
And I gotta say, I really respect that all of you showed up. This is like some straight up press conference shit right now.
Beautiful.
This is the first time the entire band has been like, oh no, we're all gonna be here. Usually they're all like, oh, we're gonna let the guitarist do it, or like somebody like that, like there's one guy for every band that does press, but I've never run into a band where everybody wants to, so that's fucking cool. But
yeah.
You guys have a good one, and everybody, thank you for listening to Metal Massacre. If you haven't yet, check out BigDobsBeardBalm.com. Use promo code METAL for 20% off. Keep the beard and the tattoos looking good. I'm gonna get out of here. Peace.